Hey everyone, welcome to your April 15th crafting lesson for writing. We're going to be talking about poetry and working through some of the long writing that we did today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all, and we're going to get going. So the last few days, we've been haven't been working on poetry. We've been working toward poetry, but not on poetry. So hopefully, you haven't been writing poems. If you have just been writing poems, this process is not going to work. So what I would suggest is going back to the lessons that we did on April 8th and 9th and yesterday, where we're just writing long chunks of text, um, which is called prose. That's what that's called. So there's poetry and there's prose. So we've been writing prose, just big long chunks of text. I'm talking about a lot of different things. So April 8th, today I want you to go back into your writing. So if you look here, I went back to my April 8th writing. You can go to your 9th, you can go to yesterday's, whatever you'd like to do. I have a couple things that I wanted to write on based on quotes. So one was a quote where Courtney and I, my wife and I, Mrs. Burley and I were exclaiming that Adeline was growing up so fast and learning and developing. And then the other one was, will I get in trouble thinking about going to stores with masks? I want to get a bit away from COVID for today. I might write about this another day. I just didn't want to focus on it today. So I took this small writing. It should be a little bit longer, ideally, but you guys know I'm working in smaller amounts of time in a lot of ways than you all are. And so I want you to understand that. You normally would have probably 3 or 4 paragraphs in 45 minutes of writing. But, to look at it, I pulled it out, and I'm gonna do a little bit of writing. I want you guys to see I already did a little bit of writing, so I want you to see some of the writing that I did. Um, you don't need to pull it out and make a new document. This should all be done in your writer's notebook. I did this so it's just easier for you to see. So all this will be my writer's notebook, and that'll be an example for you, but I wanted you to see this side by side. So I took this paragraph. It said, Alan is growing so quickly. Courtney and I were sitting in our playroom exclaiming, which is what we were saying. The quote, how fast she's growing, learning, and developing. She's sitting in her play table pretending to steer a car, maybe just moving a wheel. When she looks at us and smiles, she crawls over to Courtney and she pulls herself into a hug and grabs a big chunk of hair. We laughed and couldn't begin to express how much she had grown and developed in the last month. She wasn't even crawling. She wasn't even crawling a month ago, and now we have to watch her like hawks, and she is so fascinated with climbing upstairs. So I pulled out a little bit of our writing. Um, and this is just a small amount. I probably wrote for maybe 10 minutes here. So I will keep going for about maybe another 20 normally in my own writer's notebook. I just want to show you the quick view of it right now. So I zoomed in. When I do, just like in any picture, right? If you zoom in on a specific part of a picture or image, you're going to see a lot of different details come up, but you're going to cut out a lot of the details of the rest of the picture. And so I really wanted to zoom in more on her, on the faces and on like her developing rather than like the play table and things like that. So I said, on wobbly legs, Adeline begins to stand. She catches her balance and slowly rises up, a stern look of concentration on her face. Her legs and arms becoming longer, her rolls a bit thinner. Corey and I look at each other in proud, joyful glances as we watch our daughter develop and grow before our eyes. Adeline looks at each of us, smiling. Babbles and yells of joy escape her. She sits down with a large plop and crawls towards us, a light in her eyes to try and rise again. She's growing so fast, we both constantly say to each other. What do you notice as a difference? Some of the things I noticed that I was doing when I zoomed in, I cut out a lot of things. You guys notice this portion got cut out, her big chunks of hair. The crawling into a hug got cut out. Seeing the play table cut. I cut a lot of stuff out. But what I did is I added a lot more on the different zoom. And so when I zoomed into Adeline, what you start to emerge and notice is you see a lot more imagery on her. And I think this is where I want this poem to go. Now, I'm not writing the poem today. I'm still just pulling out as many images and thoughts as I can. I even want to maybe write a little bit more, sort of look at concentration on her face. She looked like a craftsman who was slowly delicately precious metals. I like putting a simile in there, kind of thinking about her face. Ooh, I'm gonna talk because I can remember that she always kind of sticks out her tongue a little bit in concentration, so I want to catch that. Certainly concentration on her face, tongue set against her lips. You see how I'm zooming in? Now, you notice I'm not writing a poem yet. I'm not writing a poem yet, but I can already see some of the rhythm and the imagery of a poem emerging from this writing. And so after I kind of sit and I play with this more, I might even make another paragraph. Maybe I'm going to lengthen out this paragraph and begin to grow this paragraph over with some of our reactions and zooming in on my wife and I and talking about Mrs. Burley Mai's reaction to her. So I'm going to lengthen these out. This is about 45 minutes of writing, or it should be about 45 minutes of writing. This is like 10, 15 minutes of writing. So I expect quite a bit. And imagery. And so we're going to keep working that prose because tomorrow we're going to start pulling out the poem from this and we can see it. I think I can already start seeing things in the poem and I can already start seeing a rhythm develop. I can already start seeing some breaks and lines that I'm going to create for tomorrow. So this is what I want you to do today. I want you to zoom in on one of your long writings that you wrote from the last week. Which is take that long writing and zoom into a particular aspect and really pull out every image you can, every thought, every feeling, every emotion, your sight, your smell, your touch, what you hear, all of those things. Write for as long as you can because that's how you're going to get things that actually work with your poem. And your poems will be that much better. Let me know if you need anything, and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you, everybody. I can't wait to see what you've written. And then tomorrow we'll build those into poems. Thank you. Bye.